I would like to thank everyone for coming today and to welcome the 1986 Class A Wrestling Champs home. And on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to congratulate him for a job well done. I guess I've done enough talking for right now, but I'd like to introduce first Bill Bredesen, the assistant coach, to work.
Thank you also for coming. It's really neat that everybody showed up at all the meetings we had and the sports we've had all the way around the year. Most of the time I carry around my portfolio or book and got nothing else to do. So my pencil and paper are always there too. And Coach Shingles asked me to tell you a little bit about the team as far as the statistics have gone this year. Wins, individual records, Todd Paulson broke that with 116 career records this year. Goals in one season. Chad Merritt tied it with 24. Merritt's only a sophomore, and points in one season, Chad beat that record and has 85 points in dual meets in one season. Takedowns in dual meets in one season. The record was 62 this year. Tuomo Gorilla beat him with 69. He came off the mat generally towards the end of the year and said, "How many do I have now?" When he got to work at one of the meets in the state, he said, "How many does that count for?" Takedowns in 1 year was 112. This year he broke that with 118. Going on with a few more team records, dual meet wins is 15-1. That's another record. Tournaments, the team record now stands at 20-1. Most total team points scored in a regular season used to be 564. Now it's 651. I got a few more to go. This was really a great one to get to. Really did it all well. Most balls in a regular season used to be 53. Now it's 68. That was just 2 weeks. Most balls in one season used to be 112. Now it's 144. This is team again. Most takedowns in one dual meet used to be 25. Now it's 27. skip that one. There's a couple other ones I think Mr. Jim will talk about there. This year, these 15 tournament team individuals recorded an overall record of 280 wins, 97 losses, and 6 ties. That's these 15 guys. These 15 individuals recorded 144 falls. They recorded 613 takedowns and 202 times they were taken down. So that's a pretty good average too. The team record is 20-1. During that time, they scored 851 points and only had 310 scored against them. They're an outstanding bunch of individuals. I've had an awful lot of fun working with them. And like one of them said after the state tournament win, this is something that I'll never forget. And it's something that they can never have taken away from me either. They're a good bunch of kids.
At this time, I'd like to congratulate Jerry Jingles on a job well done, and I'd like to have him say a few words.
Thank you. I'm surprised there's many people here. Our attendance record at these isn't very good. One of the things that I was asked after the state Canby duel was, did the matches go the way you thought them? But the answer to that is no. If anyone's wondering if the match came out the way I wanted it to, the answer to that is yes. I think I'm very happy to be part of the Minnesota State Tournament, and yesterday there were over 10,000 people at the Canby Staples dual meets. I don't know if everyone knows, but Minnesota has the best attended state tournament in the country. Most state tournaments draw between 10 and 20,000 people, and the Minnesota State Tournament drew 63,000 people this year. So we have an excellent state tournament. And when I get to the state tournament, I always talk to a few other coaches, and sometimes it points out to me some of the reasons why maybe we're successful here, some of the things that maybe we take for granted, and I just wanted to mention a few of those. One thing is the media coverage has been just excellent for us in this area. We get KDMA on the radio, we get the Independent Marshall newspaper does a good job on us, and we get the Canby News, and all this is really helpful in our program. Some of the other things are the fans, we get probably the greatest following in the state. We got parents behind our program. There's just any number of things that make this a successful program, and sometimes I don't know if we really understand, because we take a lot of these things just for granted because they happen every year. One thing that makes a successful program is people that you put on the map, and I think that's probably the most important thing. I just thought about this on the way home. I don't have all the statistics that Mr. Bresson has. You may dispute some of these, but when you talk about people that you have on your team, we put 9 seniors on our tournament team this year. I'd like to have those 9 seniors stand up. Stand up. These 9 seniors wrestled 3 dual meets against the best teams in the state of Minnesota. They went on the mat 23 times, they won 21, lost 2. They scored 91 team points and gave up 9. 8 of the 9 went undefeated through the 3 dual meets. That's a pretty good senior class.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the mayor of Canby, Darrell Snorton. He has a few words for us. Thank you, Scott. As Jackie Gleason used to say, how sweet it is. During the tournament, reading the Minneapolis papers and watching Minneapolis TV, it was very frustrating because you soon had the idea that the only team down there was Staples, and they were going to win it hands down. And start to wonder pretty soon one of your Canby was even going to show up down there. So I say again, how sweet it is. And no matter how much promotion or advertising the Chamber of Commerce or the City of Canby can do, I don't think anything that we could do could match the impact that these people have on putting the City of Canby on the map. I would just like to give you an example of this. Visiting with the Dwayne Englands some time ago, they were visiting their daughter and son-in-law out in Wyoming, and they went on a little skiing trip. And when they were registering in the lodge, as the young man at the desk noticed the address they were writing down, he said, "Canby, Minnesota." Well, that's the town that has a good wrestling team, isn't it? So we go a long way. So wrestlers, I admire and respect your individual efforts. You know, I just can't imagine myself in front of 10,000 people doing an individual effort like that. I have so much respect for you guys. And I can only imagine what the flow of adrenaline must be at a time like that. I think it must be almost overpowering. Coaches Jerry and Bill, what can we say? Many coaches reach the big time once in a while, but year after year, your consistency is certainly amazing. Cheerleaders, you're here someplace. Cheerleaders, it's great to have a little charm and beauty amongst all that sweating and grunting and going. Your leadership in the crowd response certainly is a part of the big picture. And parents, sometimes I think you have the toughest job of all. All that inside body anguish you're going through and all that agony you go through every time your boy's in the mat, I know that's got to be really tough. So my respect and thanks to you too. So wrestlers, coaches, cheerleaders, and parents, City of Canby thanks you and salutes you. At this time, Mr. Saul would like to give us his words of wisdom.
Back where we belong, that's on top. Not without problems. Problems started early this time. I put Mike Toll in charge of behavior. I got off the bus out front. I said, "Mike, what's the report?" He said, "I got to talk to you." Bredesen still talks too much. Remember that 3 years ago. Jingle's got a dog loose in the building. Thursday afternoon, the cheerleader supervisor called me from St. Paul. She met at a wet head. They charged her $80 before they let her in the hotel. I made the reservation. I'm not sure. I think it was Thursday. Jingles was on the phone. Some kid was hurt. Wanted me to run down somebody else who was in St. Paul. You can imagine how easy that is. But it's been a lot of fun. These young people haven't been state champions before. You've been around this before. You saw it in 1976, 77, 79. A number of other years missing. So for the next few minutes I'm going to talk to them. You're welcome to listen. You don't choose to listen at your business as long as you don't listen quietly. You know, you're going to find out being a champion gets lonesome. Because after the handshaking and the backslapping and the good times is over, you live in a world, a big world's got some small people in it. And there's going to be a certain amount of envy, and there's going to be a certain amount of jealousy, and a certain amount of criticism. And people are going to accuse you of doing things that you couldn't begin to do. They already do that with Jingles and I. If he and I were capable of doing 1/10 of the things they claim we do, we'd be a whole lot better people than we are. The important thing, I think, for young people here is that you are champions and nobody can take that away from you. Since no one can take it away from you, you've got to learn how to live with it and how to handle it, how to wear that crown the way you should wear it. How do you do that? You do that first by wearing it with humility, being humble. Don't spend any of your time blowing your horn about what you've done. Those people who are interested already know about it, and those who don't know about it aren't interested. So save it. That's law number one. In addition to that, I would like you young people to keep your priorities in order. By that I mean this. Somebody's got to say this to you, and it's got to be me, because nobody else is going to. The first responsibility that any champion has, who is a student, in the academic area. You're a student first. Never forget that. Second responsibility you have is to learn to become a useful citizen. Another reason why you're in school. The third responsibility you've got to yourself is to learn to grow up to be the kind of person that all the rest of us would like. In other words, develop the right kind of character. Any champion of any kind has those responsibilities, and those responsibilities go along with the privilege of being a champion. You can't get away from it. And only after those things are you a wrestler, a cheerleader, a manager, whatever. Don't you ever forget that, because 10 years from now, most of the people in the world will have forgotten that you were state champions, but they will not have forgotten whether or not you're a useful citizen, whether or not you're the kind of person that other people like and respect, whether or not you've done a good job in school, because you'll either be proving it or disproving it every day at work. All of us need to remember that. It'll make a difference whether you're an athletic director or a coach, or a parent, or a fan, or a wrestler, or a cheerleader, or a manager, or whatever. I enjoyed it as much as anyone. I wouldn't have it any other way. Let's take care of it the right way. Thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Have trophies to pass out, but I guess I'm going to hold on to them. The reason is we're short a few. When we ordered, we didn't get them all. So we'll pass them out later, but what I'd like to do now is introduce each one of the wrestlers, and if they'd like to talk, as sure as I can. They have every right to. First of all, Len Cleveland. Jeff Jeremiahson.
Come on.
Maybe we can get him on this group. It takes teamwork. Chris Fairchild. Jason Lozinski. Todd Paulson. Chad Merritt. Todd Panning. Mike Cole. Greg Nelson. Mark Cole. Doug Brown. Don Delorier. Rusty Cockelman. Tomo Carilla.
I just want to say that I have the great pleasure to stay with you, and you are the greatest fans, so thank you all.
John Gubru. And last but not least, probably he doesn't get what he usually, I guess, the respect he should get, but the student manager, Todd Hanson. I screwed up again. I guess I'd like to thank you for coming, and I guess I've never been a state champ, and it's a real pleasure to know a bunch of kids like this, and they've come a long ways, because not a lot of people said they'd win, but they did it, and congratulations. At this time, I guess, there's coffee, cookies, and juice down in the cafeteria, and you're all welcome. Thank you.
Nice to...
Hey, we're on film.
Got to wrestle that intramural.